Welcome back to the Wildlands Garden. Welcome back to the Wildlands.
Where it's lovely and sunny, finally, after weeks and months of torrential rain.
We have had some serious rain. I think 6 to 6.5 times the amount of rain that was supposed to happen in March came in 1 month.
Yeah, it's just been constant, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's either been torrential or it's been little showers. When you're living outside, everything's damp and cold and it doesn't really inspire you to get up and go and work, certainly not in the garden.
No, we're definitely fair weather gardeners, and there's nothing worse when you don't have a house and you're predominantly outside all day long when it's raining non-stop. Most years it rains a lot for a few days and then you get a week or two of fairly pleasant weather. That's not been the case this year.
No, it's been quite crazy actually. Quite crazy. In some of the breaks in the rain though, you got some good work done in the new nursery garden up at the top.
So yes, so basically you saw again in the last video that we had the area at the top of the new nursery garden was ready to accept shade material and lots of pots. So we've started filling that up with pots now, and as Missy said, lower down in 2 of the 4 beds I've finished the flood irrigation and tested it out because it was an experiment. And originally from previous videos you'll note that I was going to use drip irrigation like we'd had done in the other food forest, but we've tested this and I think it's going to work super well in the summer. So I'll show you how that works. I'm in the new nursery garden, the food forest, or our second food forest, and I've been debating irrigation, and I was going to put in a drip irrigation system with taps coming out of our water bladder or water pillow, which is up on the hill to my left. And this water bladder stores 50,000 litres of water when it's full, and we have to pump this up from our well at the bottom of our land, which is around 1,000 feet from where I am, 330 metres away, but I digress. So instead of using drip irrigation, I debated whether to use the flood method or flood irrigation. I've tested that out on one side and I'm really pleased with the results, so I've decided to extend that to the whole of the nursery area. So you can see this side that I've already completed here, my test side. I'm now going to come round in a curve over the path, make a little bridge and go up the other side. See here, it's very simple. I'm basically digging a small trench basically so I can flood it, and then the idea is that in the summer when it's super hot you get a lot of water sinking into the soil and then the roots will get the water lower down, whereas when you use drip irrigation here in Portugal it's obviously wetting the top of the soil, it's not necessarily getting to the roots before it evaporates in the sun. see that the water is soaking up into the soil, so I think it's going to be great in the summer. And at the same time, what did I do as well?
Planting? Weeding. Lots of weeding.
Yeah, lots of weeding. Yeah, and that's a never-ending task here because of all the rain mainly. I wanted to have it mulched before the weeds came up, and I missed that window. And then I wanted to have it weeded before the weeds that are in set seed, and I kind of got that window, but I think basically I missed the boat on both counts. So I do need to get the mulching done before the full heat of the summer. So I'm kind of planning to dig the next 2 irrigation trenches on the lower 2 beds, and then I'm going to make my own mulch to cover it over, really to keep the nutrients in, add some more nutrients, but mainly to keep the soil from drying out so much in the summer when I'm irrigating it using the new flooded irrigation.
It is a box.
A box, yay!
Oh, ta-da! Got the handle. I got some wheels. And got the thing. To build it yourself.
Yeah, flat net.
Little net. More wheels. Another thing. Little tubes that Rosie would like to play with. Instructions, don't lose them. It comes in many parts. And then if I lift that out, that is a little cart. When we built it, we can pull it around by the handle, and it's a bit more stable than using a wheelbarrow. Won't tip.
That's my new gardening truck or cart. Really pleased with that. It's a little bit difficult to drive, having not driven a cart before. Haven't passed my test. I'm sure I'll get used to it, and we can do 10 3-litre pots from the nursery to the storage area here. So it's going to make life a lot easier. And having a nice solid plastic tray means I'll be also able to use it for moving soil and wood chip and so on. So I guess a thumbs up from me. And by the way, it's not a sponsored review or anything, it's just a cart we bought to make life on the nursery a little bit easier. So one whole cart full of weeds, and that's just one of my borders covered in stinging nettles. I did bring gloves, but I decided stupidly I like to be able to feel the weeds, pull out the roots. So I'm going to go and have a drink and maybe a bit of lunch, and then I'm going to come back and do the second path and the 2 borders to my left, the first 2 borders, and then I'll probably tackle these awful middle sections on another day. And I've also got a big pile of earth over there that Paul dropped off that I need to spread out, and I've got a dead bamboo there that was eaten by a vole, so I've brought bamboo to replace that. That's my bamboo screen there, so I'll see you shortly. And what else have we been up to?
Yeah, it actually sounds like we've done quite a lot, listing it all off. The weekend just gone, we had our first open day for the nursery of the year. and that went really well. We had lots of happy customers. We were busy all day long, weren't we?
We were fully booked. Yeah, it was a fabulous day. We met some great people, sold loads of plants. We got people bringing us seeds and swaps as well. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was lovely. Nice seeing people's enthusiasm for the plants that we're growing as well, and it's always nice to share. Like, oh, look, would you like one of these things? I grew it from seed. And they're like, oh yeah, not seen one of those before. So that was great.
It's also nice to share information about plants that are perhaps more unusual, that people are not as familiar with.
Yes. And
then they get excited and take them away. And I like to imagine our plants being planted in their gardens or forest gardens or homesteads or what have you. That's exciting as well. And then the next day we were busy too, weren't we?
Yeah, we went to a friend had a sort of a plant swap, seed swap meet. There we go, swap meet.
So now that we're well into spring, we're just loading up to do a plant fair, which is at our friend's off-grid place tomorrow on Sunday. So we're just doing a test run to see what we can get in the car.
That was really fun. It had a bit of a markety vibe, and we did swap quite a few plants, and we sold quite a few plants. So what's really interesting with the open days and these kind of markets is seeing the different kind of, it's almost like little trends for what people are interested in. Because one minute it seems like everybody wants walking onions and Jerusalem artichokes, and the next minute it's something else. And this weekend it was honeysuckle. Everybody went nuts for honeysuckle, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
And we've had it for ages.
Yeah, and it's exactly as you said. So last year, almost every time people came to the nursery, they wanted walking onions was really important. And this year, and no honeysuckles last year. I think we sold one or two. And this year, literally almost every person has bought honeysuckle, or certainly every other person has bought honeysuckle. It's probably down to the fact that they're now up here and they do look really nice, don't they? Yeah.
I think the reason they're going particularly well also is because now that we've had our honeysuckle for a couple of years, and we can really tell you its selling points, why you should have a honeysuckle. And the fabulous thing about them is that they go all the way through the winter and the summer. So they're not bothered by frosts, they're not bothered by the heat or the sun, they like full sun, they don't lose their leaves. And they're really, really good. They're fast growing and they grow up and make a big clump. And if you give them big enough structure, then they'll cover that whole thing too, which then means that you get shade. Yeah. So they're an excellent plant for shade. Plus you can eat the flowers and they make a wonderful smell. They attract the pollinators. They're just, I can't say enough good things about honeysuckle, really.
No, it's great. I mean, the most that they've got two really amazing features. One is that when they're in flower, every evening you get this amazing scent when you're walking around the garden. So before it gets dark, but as the sun starts to go down, you've got this fabulous smell. And their name, which seems kind of obvious when you know the honeysuckle, is if you pick the flower and you suck through it, you get like the honey nectar, hence it honeysuckle, and it tastes amazing as well. Yeah. And you can make tea out of most honeysuckles as well, so it's a very versatile plant. So
and it's good if you had if you have a wall or a fence or something that you want to obscure. You know, you don't want people looking through your fence from the road or something. You grow a honeysuckle up it. Yeah, they're great. And we have red flowers and white flowers.
We do.
So it's nice to have the choice.
So that's our honeysuckle advert. So if you haven't been to the Wildlands Nursery, come and buy a honeysuckle. Yeah. And on that note, if you're in central Portugal, we're happy to travel a long way, and it is well worth the travel to get some unusual plants that you won't find anywhere else. Do drop us an email or a message and book an appointment to come and visit us and have a look around the nursery. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, it's always good. We've got all sorts of everything. You have to put the website link up so that people can just go and have a look, the kinds of things that we have.
So another reason that we've been quieter on YouTube again is because we've been really focusing on the nursery and plants. Obviously with spring being here, there's a lot of seed sowing. As you can see here, the cold frames are full of seeds. We've been very busy with that. We've been planting out plants. We've been getting the new garden planted up. I mentioned earlier the job's still left to do there with the mulching, etc. But one of the very important jobs coming up is we've got our new irrigation systems. As well as the flooding irrigation of the new garden, we're going to plumb in the water bladder that you can see here. And the water bladder, also known as a water pillow, basically holds 50,000 litres of water that we have to pump up from our well before the dry season. So you can see we've already started that and we're well on the way. I think there's probably around 30,000 litres in the bladder at the moment. So what we've done is currently our larger pump at the top of the land is run by petrol, so we're not very keen on using fossil fuels unnecessarily, particularly as they cost quite a lot of money to buy the fuel. So we've got ourselves a high-powered electric pump, which we're going to power off solar panels using our all-power box and a large 600-watt panel. That then means that all of our pumping to water the garden is then completely free, apart from the initial setup cost of the solar panels. So in a future video, I'm going to show you how you would set up irrigation using solar power to water the whole of your garden, particularly in an off-grid situation where that's very important to manage your water, particularly if you're in a country like us where you've got several months of drought. So that's all coming up.
We're also going to, we bought a couple of IBCs and because we just keep running out of space, we're making so many plants for the nursery, propagating lots, we keep needing to find new areas for them. So we've found a new area, we've cleared it, we've got the IBCs, so you'll be plumbing those in at the same time, won't you? And that's quite fun. I think you should do a little video about that. Just simple, the attachments that you have and how we fill them up and how one fills the other one up and so on.
So if you've got anything that you would like us to make when we're back into regular videos, head down to the comments and let us know what you'd like to see, what you wouldn't like to see, what you'd like to see more of. If you've got any questions about plants or any of the things that you've seen in tonight's video, again, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
And in the meantime, thanks very much for supporting us, coming back and watching our videos when we eventually put them out, and supporting us on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. Even though we're not putting out very much content, that's so super duper brilliant, and we're really thankful for that.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for subscribing as well, and all your likes and comments. And we'll see you maybe fairly soon.
Sometime. We'll see you sometime.
Sometime soon in the near future.
Bye.